Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a really awesome knife consult for you on the Michael Zieba S2 Double Tap. This is a unique and exclusive model that I think was only offered through Fort Henry Custom Knives. They had a couple iterations of this. This is a full custom knife from knife maker Michael Zieba. This is his card. He is out of Brooklyn, New York. Actually, he moved here from Poland in 2005, according to his website. And since then, he's been living the American dream. Michael is popular for the fact that he does the gold coating on the Oscars statues. I think that Jim Skelton did a great video on this actual particular model discussing Michael Zieba and his work, and so go and check that video out if you hadn't seen it, but if you've probably seen that prior to seeing this video. But very interesting story, and this guy does both design and concept and engineering, and it's very neat. It's great to see these products and to see a unique take on this. He also sent along a bullet lanyard bead right here, which I think was really cool and fitting with the design of having two hollow point bullets implanted there in the handle. So I'm going to put that aside, and we'll just get to the knife itself right now. This is a really wicked harpoon swedged, aggressive looking sort of tactical knife right here, but it definitely is up my alley in terms of the shape and the ergonomics. I'm going to bring out some knives here for comparison. The most notable one is my own personal 0392 that I actually had reground to look remarkably like this. Now, I really love the harpoon swedge. I love the hollow grind. I love the compound grind, and that is a grind that I absolutely adore, and it's what I wanted on this. So to see it on a knife from the maker is really, really exciting. Of course, we have our standard 0392. This is the BRN GLD. You can see the grind there. So I'm a very big fan of the harpoon swedge. I think it looks awesome. I'll bring out another ZT right here, the 0606 with another wicked harpoon on that. Let's look at the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 for sort of a standardized size comparison right there. So the Zieba is just a little bit smaller than the PM2. Here's a Shirogorov F3, a little bit bigger than the Zieba right there. So a nice size, right in my sort of size and carry category. I'll bring out the ruler so we can get some actual numbers going on here. The blade itself is about 3.6 inches of cutting length back to the pivot. You're looking at about 4 inches. The handle length overall is right at about 5 inches from the start of the handle to the back. And the grip area is right at about 4 inches of actual grip area. So that's not too bad. We'll bring out the calipers here and get some width. So in the pocket, this thing is a bit thick because of the contoured handles. It's actually sitting at 0.6 inches, actually 0.67 right there, so almost 0.7 inches. It's a nice thick handle, comfortable in the hand. The blade stock is 0.15 inches, so a robust knife right here, definitely built tough and built to last, and you can feel it. It definitely feels like a tank, and that is because it weighs in at a very, very impressive 7.6 ounces. Yes, 7.6 ounces. So this is probably heavier than just about anything else in your collection. Not many other 3.5-inch blades come in like that. This one, with as beefy as this knife is, this is still in the 5s. That's like 5.7. This is a very, very heavy knife at that weight. But what do you get for that? You get an absolutely stunning, strong, and very impressive knife. And so let's go ahead and break this down anatomically so we know what we're working with. Up front is a beautifully done blade of M390 steel, which is a spectacular steel, as we all know, one of the very best, if not the very best blade steel for EDC folders. Done in a really wicked harpoon compound grind. Very, very cool. That hollow is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if my camera is really capturing it that well because of how reflective it is, but it's got a very finely done belt satin on there. Hollow ground here, flat ground out at the tip, a nice swedge ground up on the top there, and the edge is actually cut very thin and actually ground very nicely. The bevels are quite consistent throughout the knife, and it is quite sharp. It's very, very sharp. There's a little bit of jimping going on here for some extra traction. It's not aggressive and it doesn't hurt. It's very nice. The blade shape is just beautiful. I am just in love with it. It's one of my favorite shapes, and this is proportioned perfectly. I could do without the M390 being written on it quite like that. I think it could have been a bit more subtly done, maybe somewhere on the inside or along this part of the knife. You know, I just think that detracts from the overall beauty of the knife. The maker's mark is not that bad. I actually don't mind it. I would have preferred to see the maker's mark on the back and then nothing on the front to keep it clean and beautiful. In any case, that's personal taste. Moving back to the pivot, this runs on ball bearing washers. It's very, very, very smooth. The D10 is a bit light, so you can halfway deploy it if you're not being purposeful. But if you actually give it a nice solid flick, it's extremely smooth and it launches out. Now listen to that. A very loud noise, a very solid lockup right there. Lockup is about, 20%, something like that, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 30%. But it is very solid. There is no blade play. I can disengage the lock. There's no blade play side to side there. I've adjusted the pivot myself. I did disassemble this knife. It's very, very simple, only 3 screws, and the whole thing comes apart. It's quite simple, quite clean on the inside, and easy to maintain. So I like that a lot about the knife. Moving back to the most interesting part of the knife probably is the handle scales here, the handle overall and the frame, for a number of reasons. Number one is the finish work. This is called the black nickel finish. It's very unique. There's a bit of almost a copper undertone and then a dark sort of finish over top. It's beautiful. I think it's anodized and then it's sort of black washed a little bit, but it's a gorgeous finish. Something that he certainly does well in terms of that is the finish work here. It's very artistic. It's very beautiful. And, these hollow point sort of mock-ups right here actually look like spent cartridges. It's very cool. If you watch Jim Skelton's video, Michael actually fired a bullet into 2 bullets into water, and they splayed open like this, and then he casted them and now uses them for these other models. So these are not real bullets. Jim's knife has the real bullets, but this is certainly interesting to look at. A couple of small points. For those of us with OCD, you might think that these are lined up. You might not think that these are lined up. You know, that's up to your eye and your perception of the lines and the sort of the overall aesthetic there. And then secondarily, these things, somebody said this to me, and it won't go away from my mind because now I just see it every time. And that is that these look like a certain human orifice that I will leave to your imagination. And yes, so that kind of spoils that a little bit. But if you think about it like it's bullets and you throw on your hollow point on the back and you just keep that strong right there, I think that can be forgiven right there. So another unique part of this knife most certainly is the clip. This devil's tail clip is really unique. I've been looking at Jim's videos and I've just lusted after this clip. I always hoped that it would work really, really well, and it works okay. It's not the ideal clip. It's a little bit difficult because it's very stiff to get something underneath. There's really only one angle of attack to get up underneath that devil's tail. But once you figure it out, it does slide in and out of the pocket pretty well. I do wish it was a little bit deeper. My jeans kind of bunch up early, so a little bit more of the knife than maybe you would want to think would stick out of the pocket there, but it is fairly subtle and it doesn't look bad. And it certainly definitely is a style comment, just a style choice to have this devil's tail hanging out of your pocket, so that's certainly a conversation starter. So what do I think of this knife overall? Well, I think it's stunningly beautiful. I could do without the hollow point bullets in the handle. He had some plain handled versions that I find extremely stunning. I'm in love with the overall aesthetic. I think that the blade grind is beautiful and functional at the same time. The ergonomics are excellent. There are no hot spots. Even that tail clip does not provide any hot spots. It's very comfortable. It works well. The materials, the fit and finish and everything are there, and it's incredibly smooth and well done. It may be a bit heavy and a bit expensive at about $525 new, so it's not going to be everyone's choice for an EDC, but I think it is absolutely gorgeous. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Go and check out Michael Zieba's work at ZiebaKnives.com and on Instagram. Check me out on Instagram at Dr. Frunkey. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Let me know what you think of this knife down in the comments below. And as always, guys, this is Dr. Frunkey saying, take care.